fans, I'm Jack Benner, and welcome to my review of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is the fourth film in the Mission Impossible franchise. Came out in 2011, directed by Brad Bird, starring Tom Cruise, Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, and Paula Patton. The story follows Ethan Hunt, as always played by Tom Cruise, after he breaks out of a prison and rejoins his IMF team. But when a bomb goes off in Moscow, Ethan Hunt and his IMF team are disavowed. And they have to go stop a nuclear missile from launching with no backup. Now, I do like the Mission Impossible movies before this. First one was good, even if it was hard to follow. The second film was easily the weakest of the franchise. And I enjoyed Mission Impossible 3, and I definitely think this is what the franchise needed after the second movie. The main thing that got me interested in MI4 was that Brad Bird was directing. And he is a great animation director. The Iron Giant, one of the most underrated animated films of all time. The Incredibles and Ratatouille are fantastic as well. And this was the first Mission Impossible movie I saw in theaters back in 2011, and I absolutely loved it. And I still do to this day. This was my favorite of the franchise until Fallout, but this is still a fantastic action movie. First, Brad Bird, for his first live action movie, did an excellent job. Such a beautifully filmed action movie with no shaky cam. You could see what's going on very well. It's well edited. Amazing stunt choreography as well. Looking back to his directing in the action scenes in the first movie, I wish he could direct another Mission Impossible movie, although I do love what Christopher McQuarrie did with Rogue Nation and Fallout. And Brad Bird would later go on to direct another live action movie with Tomorrowland in 2015, and I thought it was decent. The third act I was not a fan of. But I'm interested to see, hopefully he could direct another live action movie in the future, or another action movie like this. And the great cast, they're on top of their game in this film. Tom Cruise is the definition of an action star. It's hard to imagine anyone else playing Ethan Hunt other than Cruise. Tom Cruise has got the charm, likability, and energy, and him doing his own stunts. He rocks in these movies. Jeremy Renner was a great addition to the franchise. Before this, I thought he was fantastic in The Hurt Locker and The Town. And him doing action roles in the Mission Impossible movies and Hawkeye in the MCU reminds me why Jeremy Renner is one of my favorite actors. He of course does a great job in the action scenes, but also his character has a good backstory as well. Simon Pegg, who had a small role in the third movie, I'm glad he got a bigger role in this movie. He's a very funny comedic relief, but also a helpful asset to the team with the technology. I love Simon Pegg in the Cornetto trilogy, the Star Trek movies, and the Mission Impossible movies. It reminds me why I think he's an underrated actor in my opinion. And Paula Patton was awesome in this movie. She did a terrific job in the action scenes and also has a good backstory as well. And that reminds me of something I particularly liked about Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol was the team dynamic. I appreciated that it wasn't just Ethan Hunt. It wasn't all about him and more about the team. They're all likable, entertaining, and I want to see them accomplish the mission, and I want to know how they're going to do it. And Ghost Protocol does have a riveting story to it. With Ethan Hunt and his IMF team that are disavowed, they have no help, no backup. And something I liked about Ghost Protocol, especially in the Burj Khalifa sequence, which more on that later, is not everything worked. The face mask, the gloves that Ethan Hunt uses to scale the building, and the laser cutter, to me, that made the mission a lot more intense and made me care about the characters more. And now to the action scenes. They are incredible. The true highlight of this film is the Burj Khalifa sequence. That is definitely my top 3 favorite Mission Impossible action sequences, and definitely one of my favorite action scenes of all time. Knowing that was shot on location and Tom Cruise did that stunt scaling the tallest building in the world, it's just jaw-dropping. The great cinematography, it was very intense, and even has some good comedy in there, and that entire sequence had me in complete awe. And I remember seeing this movie back in theaters in 2011. I was sitting at the front row, just watching that scene and me glued to the screen. My palms were sweating, just holding the armrest. It was just like, knowing he did that stunt, it's just amazing. There was also a great variety of action scenes too. A suspenseful opening prison break, awesome hand-to-hand combat fights, and after the Burj Khalifa sequence, there's an amazing sandstorm sequence as well. And there was also a welcome addition of humor to the franchise, and thankfully it wasn't distracting or out of place. And in the previous 3 movies, the message will self-destruct sequence is usually played serious, and here it gets a good laugh. And after that line is said, it doesn't self-destruct automatically, and Ethan Hunt hit it hard to make it self-destruct. There's also one gadget in the film using this screen that definitely got a laugh out of me. I love that. However, my only issue with Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is the villain. This is quite a problem with the Mission Impossible franchise. They usually don't have the best villains aside from Philip Seymour Hoffman in the 3rd movie, Henry Cavill in the 6th movie. And here he is pretty underdeveloped and forgettable, and looking back to this movie, I don't remember a lot about this villain. But overall, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is an awesome 4th installment into the series. It's thrilling, fantastic directing from Brad Bird, great cast. It's well-paced, has a riveting story, and gave the franchise a step up from the previous 3 movies. And overall, I am going to give Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol 4.5 stars out of 5, an A. One of my favorite films of 2011, and one of my favorite action films of the 2010s decade. So what do you guys think about Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol? Do you agree? Disagree with me? Let me know below. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. It really means a lot. I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.